They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs only ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare cost, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave probably made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs feed your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
When I tell you this video has made it to international news, that even in Africa, everyone has seen it on the news, it is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about this, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Natskunda Esther. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this man's message. Like, I sat there, I digested it, I thought of it, I saw other people react to it, and I was like, what?
He's not your revolution. I think he's still a real estate developer. If there's one thing I know about real estate developer, is that they love money. They love people who have money. And they love being around power. Let me ask you, why would someone like that work for you? You don't have the money. You don't have the power. All you had was one vote, and you already gave it to him. The vote became his stepping stone. He used it to accumulate the ultimate power. You see how he moves. His name everywhere, hotels, golf courses, restaurants, even possibly on legislations in the future. His face is on flags, t-shirts, truck, like a brand. He works like a real estate agent. He pointed a piece of land in the Middle East, and he already picturing a beachfront resort and luxury shopping district. That's how his mind works. It's not about serving the people. I don't think so. I think it's about building something with his name on it. Legacy he wants. But look, I will give him this. He's really good at marketing. He knows how to sell the images. He made you believe that he's one of you. He was going to fight for you. He's gonna shake the system to its core. But in the end, I think he's just gonna do what benefits him and the people in his inner circle. I get it. You voted for him because you want some change. You want someone to take down the deep states. You want a revolution. You want a real change. But all you got was a different face on the same machine. A new pen job on the same old system. Because at the end of the day, it's not about left and right. It's not about left and right. It's about which oligarchs they are working for.
This man is saying America needs a revolution. The last time I heard these things is as an African hearing such words on the African continent, that we need a revolution. But for a Chinese man to come out and say such strong words towards American people have, I would say, welcomed his information and his advice. However, TikTok has put a shadow ban on this man And apparently his account is promoting, how do I say it in a language that YouTube will not understand? A coup d'etat. Yes. His TikTok page is under review now for inciting, literally like overthrowing the government, because he said Americans need a revolution. Do I think Americans need a revolution? I think so. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know down in the comment section. Do you think America needs a revolution? Trump has a mindset of a realtor. People that deal in real estate, they're not okay upstairs when they are men and they're power hungry. They love people that have money and they will do anything to please them, because that's how they do their sales.
If you slap me in the face, I slap you back. China will never allow any country, including the United States, to throw the rule of free trade out of the window and to be presumptuous enough to say, this is the way I do. I hold a gun at your hand, cry uncle, and kneel in front of me. No, China will never do that. Whether other countries will decide to do that, that's their choice. But China will never do that.
So do you think that President Trump misjudged China when he said that they had gambled and made a huge mistake, and yet at the weekend it was Donald Trump who lifted the tariffs on mobile phones and computers coming into the country?
I think China's view is very clear. We will never tolerate anyone mistreating China like that, intimidating China, issuing ultimatum to China. If you slap me in the face, I slap you back. That is the tit for tat, and this is exactly what's happening. Now, Chinese government also declared by imposing 125% tariff against total U.S. export to China, the U.S. products have no marketability in the Chinese market, meaning they are ready to see an end to China-U.S. trade, to the China export to the United States and vice versa. That is the ultimatum China is issuing to the United States. Don't mess with me. Otherwise, I close the market for you. You will be locked out of China. It's not China losing the US market. The United States runs the risk of being completely locked out of the China market.
I feel like we're all kind of missing the lesson that China is teaching us on how to deal with a narcissist.
The American Revolution Part 2, made in China. Made in China. They're going to revolutionize us through Red Note first, and they're going to revolutionize us next through the understanding of what we've been charged for and by who for what. The most transparent government of our time just allowed the Chinese apps to get so transparent with what they're making in for what and how you can access it for less than your government was going to charge you anyways pre-tariff. Hi, America. I'm also not big on these tariffs that your government's trying to do on you and us. Look at this thing that you already love because it's quality made, and now I'll show you how to make it. Take the label off and send it back to you for about, I don't know, a tenth of what you're used to. How's that? How are them red apples? Maybe they're going to send it on a red note or just put on the label American Revolution Part 2, made in China.
Well, eyes on the screen. Let's see. DJT, how long is he going to ride this train? And how bumpy is this rail for him? Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Good night.